Hello all, let's dive into the world of words. In this video, we can discuss about the summary of the play The Boor by Anton Chekhov. The play Boor was written by Anton Chekhov. Anton Chekhov was a Russian playwright and a short story writer. His plays and short stories explore the themes of human emotions and complexities of everyday life. In most of his work, we can see the touch of reality in it, and his major works include Cherry Orchard, The Seagull, The Boar, and The Lady with the Dog. He died on July 15, 1904 due to tuberculosis. Introduction to the play. This play was one-act comic farce and it was published on 28th October 1888. And the main theme of this play are love, loneliness, human emotions and companionship. Major characters in this play are Mrs. Popova, Mr. Smirnov, and Luka. Mrs. Popova was an young widow and she was mourning for the death of her husband for the past 7 months, and he was determined to remain faithful for her husband by living with her husband's memory. And second character is Mr. Smirnov. Mr. Smirnov was a retired lieutenant and a middle-aged landowner. And the third character is Luka. Luka was an elderly person and he was the servant to Mrs. Popov. And Luka always offers a practical advice to Mrs. Popov that don't want to feel about anything or don't want to feel about her husband's death. Just move on. By the opening of the play, Popova has isolated herself by mourning for the death of her husband for the past 7 months. She is attended by Luka, her faithful but practical servant. Luka always advises Popova to move on with the life. Popov's self-imposed seculations reflects her determination to remain loyal to her late husband. Luka, frustrated by her sorrow, urges her to re-engage with life. However, Popova rejects Luka's advice, believing her devotion to prove her love is to be mourning for the death of her husband. In this state, Smirnov arrives. Smirnov arrives at Popov's house seeking immediate repayment of 1,200 rubles loaned to her late husband. Popova explains that she cannot pay him until her manager returns. Smirnov, desperate to settle his own debts, refuses to leave the place until he is paid. This stubborn leads to heated arguments between Smirnov and Mrs. Popova. And Smirnov starts to mock Popov's mourning and Popova accusing him for being rude and insensitive. This tension reaches its peak when Popova challenges Smirnov to a duel, producing her husband's pistol. Despite of Popov's determination, Popova admits that he has no experience in handling the pistols and the pistols belongs to her husband. Smirnov lends his hand to teach Popova how to shoot. During this unexpected interaction, Smirnov begins to admire the beauty, strength and passion of Mrs. Popova. Smirnov confesses to Mrs. Popova that he has fallen in love with her. Initially, Popova rejects the proposal of Mr. Smirnov, but his declaration of love begins to soften her. Smirnov describes his wealth and property to convince Mrs. Popova. By the end of the play, the widow, once who was mourning for the death of her late husband, chooses Smirnov as her future husband. Luka and other servants were very surprised to find Popova and Smirnov together. The play concludes with the Popova instructing to Luka to deny her late husband's horse, signaling that she has fully moved on from the mourning of her late husband and accepted Smirnov into her life. This play Boor by Anton Chekhov is a brilliant blend of comedy, romance and satire. Though its lively characters and witty dialogues, the play explores the theme of love, human folly and transformation. It showcases the Chekhov's ability to capture the complexities of human relationship in light-hearted yet in meaningful manner. The Boor remains a timeless piece of literature that continues to entertain the audience worldwide. Thank you.